not making it out of a sudden, I feel like
Yeah,
it hurts.
update you
Shit.
quickly.
Sorry. I feel like it hurts for someone with an iPhone X right now.
Is it
It's
cool?
too dark though. Nah, yeah. It's bad. Shit. Why are you joining?
Someone already just drinking.
Like legit. What's up with everybody?
How you doing? How you guys doing? Somebody looks pumped up.
I apologize for not being available for the last one.
Yeah.
I was a loss. I'm back.
Yeah.
How was Mars?
It was alright. It was cool. Enough
If you say,
space.
yeah. If you say so.
Yeah, space.
I hope you missed us. I hope you thought about
I
us.
did. I actually saw the last one. It was just like, oh, something. I was not.
Yeah, but you didn't give up on you. You're back.
I actually enjoyed you guys, like, just the two we were talking. It was so, argumentative and constructive in the same way. It was cool. It was dope. I liked it.
Okay.
I liked
That's
it.
great. I hope everyone else liked it like you did.
I'm pretty sure they liked it. That's the comments.
I saw one.
So,
Just one.
I haven't seen people like supporting me. Even for you. So I was like, okay. I like it. I like it. It's a good thing.
Yeah. It's going quite good though. Yeah, but the week has been okay. Things
You
chill.
say with like lack of enthusiasm.
Yeah, like it's been okay.
It's been okay.
No, it's been okay.
Okay.
I guess so. But this week is 1 week that has made me feel like quitting school. Like literally I haven't slept and now I'm like, it's bad. It's bad.
That's how I found last week, but this week has actually been great.
For real?
Got 92 for a presentation yesterday.
I see you. I see you getting good marks.
Yeah.
Getting good marks.
It's not like everything looks great. Hey, you just get that one good thing and you feel like you A4 away.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It takes one thing to change, to either make your day or break it. Like this, your weekends be made.
I guess so.
But like that's all that matters. When I say it's okay, people that know me. Like what I mean is it's been great. I just don't like to be. It's been a good week. Nah, not like that.
Yeah.
I'm chill like that. Like it's been
Yeah.
okay.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's just the same as
Like
every
everything
other
is like constant.
Yeah.
Like this consistency.
Like probably if I was to have someone else leave in my life, they'd be like, shit, I just had the best day of my life. And for me, it's just like, I do this every
Okay.
day, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay, it's cool.
Like every day is just
Hope
Yeah.
you don't mind I'm that reactive one. I'm like
Mhm.
coming down.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
What's
we-
poppin'?
Because like that's what like life is about, differences. People they say things differently, but like you know what you feel.
Nah, but I
deep
get
inside.
happy sometimes, and I'm happy. I don't care who's sad, who's what. I'm just me having fun, shouting, and
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's great to be in that space. Eh?
I just it's like you're alone. It's like you're alone. You don't see anyone else.
That's why I always tell people like it's nice to be contained.
And then it's really funny that when you're like not in that happy space, you see everyone and everything. And it's
Yeah, it's just like, oh, so that's been going on.
yeah.
That's what people are doing these days.
Even when someone says something just somewhere else, you think it's concerned. It's got to do with you and stuff like that.
True.
So yeah, I was like thinking about like the week and stuff. Like so one of our classes was yesterday. Yeah. So then we had like a young Sangoma. She's like so famous and shit.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, she deals with like Boiti, because Boiti's in that
Yeah,
that path of
Becoming a Sangoma,
becoming
yeah.
a Sangoma and shit. Bruh, she had Gucci sneakers that Sangoma, bruh. She's using iPhone X and shit. It's so weird.
What do you mean it's weird?
It's so weird. Like,
Which is gonna
which
be-
gogo like comes with like fucking Gucci sneakers and iPhone X?
I think
Like, it's the
Pixar-
new way.
It's the modern way.
Yeah,
Because I
but, like,
also
it's
saw
so weird.
Sangoma
It's the same
yesterday.
as Boichi. She'll be one hot ass
Yeah.
single, man.
Yeah, even her, she even looks like Brenda Fassie, man. She's so, like, she's so chill.
I just realized yesterday one of my colleagues is also like a single mother.
Mhm.
Also has that cool vibe going on.
Yeah, like it's the new.
But then I just
new
saw now
wave.
the red and white beads
Oh, there's like
yesterday.
easy ways.
Yeah, and then like, okay, yeah.
I'm a single woman too. These are my beats.
Because like the newer styles that you can be a single woman and still pursue a dream.
Oh yeah,
Type
it's,
of thing.
it's not like it's a career. It's
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like-
You
It's
don't
a
have
calling.
to just
You have to.
be typical. You know how it is. Or not.
back in the days how they used to do it.
So like that's so she raised a point, you know, like she was talking about spirits, and it just got to me, and then I thought about, like, you know, she talked about spirits and she talked about religion differently, like in different terms and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So it hit me, like I'm like shit. Because I always knew, but I was like, oh, okay, even Sangomas know, like, there's differences between
Yeah.
religion and spirituality
Yeah.
and shit. And they're more based on the spiritual side.
Spiritual side.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know that fact more than a religious person would, because they really like to dissociate themselves from
It's
the
from
religious
religion.
side.
yeah, it's the same as even Rastafarians. They spiritual. Like there's religious people. There's even Rastafarians.
Is it spiritual or they both?
They spiritual.
They're spiritual. They're not religious.
They spiritual.
They acknowledge the fact that there's a God. It's not like they're just spiritual and it's like there's no God. Nah, they acknowledge that there's a higher power and there is a God, right? But they also believe in you go on your own journey to connect to the higher power. Like you don't need to go through somebody.
No, that's why I thought it was both, because, you know, I found the concept that I think spirituality goes with is that there is no God. So there's a God within you, but you are not reliant on a God.
Because I
to-
actually was watching the lecture, actually, like he played a video, so this was the Rastafarian person, right? So he basically said like what he said, like they connect to the higher power, even like the whole weed.
Yeah,
For them,
smoking,
it's like culture. It's not
yeah.
necessarily even like the wave, like we're trying to be
like
swag
a
and all that.
spiritual
Yeah.
journey.
So it's like, you know, they connect with, and even, you know, their ancestors is like messengers from God to them, you know, that type of thing.
And there's even churches for that, like even where I come from. There's Rastafarian churches that like smoke weed and make music. Like you see that conscious music,
Yeah.
that's where the whole concept is from. Like I see how people smoke weed for like it's swag or I just want to get high or whatnot. But
And those who
it
get into kind of some
you get
spirit.
it. But weed is like a way to elevate your mind and spirit. And most of the times when you're high, you think differently. So that's the whole point. It's like when you're high, even your ideas, whatever you're thinking about, it's supposed to be on a conscious level of I never really needed that to be happy. Because weed is like a plant, right? So when you smoke it, it makes you feel like if I could get so much happiness and happiness from just a plant and it's not even worth a lot like that, why would I really need a fancy ass car, fancy ass house? Like my happiness is right here. That's why you see so many Rastafarians. It's just got like messy, hippie vibe,
Yeah.
chilled, no luxurious stuff around or whatever. It's part of that thing of being a spiritual person. Cause, yeah. Because they say like, why there's really a difference between religions, spirituality, and everything else is, you see, when you're a spiritual person, it's not like, oh, I have to go to church, I have to do this, I have to do that. It's more of
The way of life.
yeah, it's
The way
it's
of
it's
life.
letting go,
Yeah.
letting go of materialistic things, letting go of sexual desires, letting go of a lot of things, and it's more of, I was saying I was on Mars. Yeah, it's more of like being in space.
Okay.
So basically, your mind is free from a lot of things and desires that might set you off your path
Yeah.
on a spiritual journey. You get it? And
Are you a spiritual person? Because you're coming through like.
no, I'm very spiritual. Like
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
it took me time to really know. I've always been like this, but it took me time to put a title on it.
Okay.
Until growing up, you realize I'm just a spiritual person. I'm not religious. I'm nothing like that because I have a lot of problems with religion and shit like that. So
I'm actually getting a new perspective to spirituality from you because Clement came through with the idea to me spirituality versus religion, and I got a bit touchy when I saw that coming from a religious perspective.
Yeah.
Because I think what we believe, or there you can't. I believe that spirituality can exist with religiousness, but you can't like just be spiritual and not
spiritual,
have
not being
religious and upper power that you're looking to, or the Bible that you have a source of, kind of ways in which you love your life and all of that.
Because I was thinking about because also there's a fine line. A lot of people don't actually even understand this whole, concept like spirituality and religion. Because you even see with a lot of religious people, let's take pastors for instance, right?
Yeah.
Like you've seen a lot of people, they tell you, I'm a Christian, I do this, right? And in churches, they preach the word of God, but like, when you monitor their actions,
Yeah.
it tells a different story. It tells you like, oh shit, this person is not. It's just a, like a devil in a dress. Like they trying to hide off like using the word of God or the clothes that they wear, and then you get a person who's spiritual who doesn't even go to church,
Yeah.
right? But like the way of life is so pure and the intentions are so pure. Even the things that they do, the things they do unto people, how like I'm saying, like intention, how they think before they do. It's like, will I like this if I did it to myself? Is it something that, do I just use people for just using people, or do I actually try to help people, all of that? So it's all about like intentions. And if you are spiritual, you can by any means not even go to church or touch a Bible, but your life will be.
I see what you're saying. I really do. When I'm gonna speak about myself, I feel spirituality needs to live with religion. So these things where you maybe meditate in the morning before or you have fasting, for example, or some kind of trips that you go for evangelism and all of that.
Are you a Christian? I just want to know.
I am a Christian, yeah. That is what will make me grounded or make me find myself or find my journey in life, regardless of the Bible, because the Bible would just be like a guideline, you understand?
But like you say,
I need to add that kind of spirituality.
So you're saying like using Christian ways will make you go into that spiritual journey?
No, I'm saying Christian ways cannot live without that spiritual.
But they can. That's like I'm saying, like there's differences. That's why you get a lot of people are religious. Like, for instance, like this line that says, I've seen good people that don't go to church, and I've seen bad people that go to church. Like it's like.
I don't think it's associated with the good and bad thing, because even with the spiritual aspect, you can have spiritual people.
But you see, what I'm saying is like that's why like when I explained it earlier, it was about like being pure, like purity, within you as a person, because when you are a Christian or when you're religious, right, you deem not to do bad whatsoever, right? And I'm not saying we all human, like we all sin, right? Even people are spiritual and all of that. But what I'm saying is like spirituality is a way of life. Christianity is regulated, or religion is regulated. Like it's someone who will tell you like you're not supposed to do this because of this, 1, 2, 3, whatever. But like if you internally you can be a good person, or you can try by all means to do good, or associate yourself with good and all of that, or connect to the to God or the universe in a good way.
I get the
That's
point
all. That's
that
all
you
I'm
bring
saying.
through.
Yeah.
Let me give you an analogy, right? Let's take the school, for example. We got lecturers who guide us into the different units that we study, the goals, what we need to learn, and all of that. And we need that guidance to get there. I understand that as a student, you can make the choices to learn as an individual without a lecturer's guidance. But I feel when you have guidance, you are put in a place where you can achieve the goal quicker maybe, or get an understanding, a better understanding than when you are alone and you need to find ways of understanding things, like starting from scratch, having a mentor. And that's where I bring that whole religious thing. The God or the Bible, that's my mentorship.
Okay, I think I'm gonna use the same example that you used, right? How then would you feel if they are teaching you about accounting only to realize that they were never really good at accounting or never had a future with that accounting? It's the same as religion, especially in today's age. It's even worse because
what you bring, I just want to disturb you a little. What you're bringing is intention, right? That's what you're trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it's like in today's age, it's even worse. Unlike back then, now people do it for the swagger face. Some do it for they want to be looked at in a certain way, and it's more of talk about how you live and not just you get it. And in today's age, it's different. I'll tell you something personal. Now, even people ask me, Vo, when's the last time you went to church? I'll tell you, it's been more than 5 years. I've been back in high school. And I still remember the day. My mom was even so mad. The day I said I'm stopping going to church. Actually, like, it was because I didn't think it out the day. Next morning, they're like, yo, everybody wake up. I slept. It's like, yo, we going to church. I'm like, and then I slept. And then I heard all this. I heard the talk like that. Like, yo, we're going to lock him outside the gate and then he's going to get back in when we're back. I'm like, why would you do that? I'm going to church. I'm like, I remember I was really young, and I'm like, heaven people don't get in twos, you get in ones. So if you gonna get in, but don't think what you're doing is gonna make you get in just because I'm staying at home. And after that, she's never really asked me about church and stuff. But the real reason why is we're humans. We've got strengths and weaknesses. One of my weaknesses was sexual, right? And being in church, I'm not gonna hide it. Being in church, it's like my church where I was, you see girls coming in, same dressing you see in a club, right? And it's like, I'm trying to be in a house of God, and my thoughts can't be so disturbed when I'm actually in the house of God. Like, it can happen outside, but I feel like it's even worse if it happens in the house of God. You get it? So it made me look at religion as people who have this image they put up and they live up to it.
You don't find the concept of, I wouldn't say God, but you didn't know what was the purpose of going to church, and that's why you were so distracted by every other thing.
It's about worship, it's about praise, I get it, but you also have to realize you're growing up. And by growing up, if you see these things, they become normal to you. Now when you're older and you see these things and you accept them as normal, there's no other way to change. And I won't lie to you, this whole journey I've been on, especially now being spiritual, it's like the same as me having dreadlocks right now. It's not like for swag or just looking good. It allows me to have freedom, because I feel like personally when I started having them, I knew how people mostly at back home look at people with dreadlocks like, oh, they're dirty, they this, they that, and I actually wanted that people to look at me that way, so that I would feel like I'm nothing, right? And I've got so much to do. So even when I know I'm better than someone who's looking down on me, it's like I still got so much to do, because when they look at me, they're like, oh, you get it. So I started going on this journey of, with religion, like he was saying, there's regulations and stuff like that. It's a school. And with school, you know, sometimes it even lowers your creativity and stuff like that. That's how schools are most of the times, right? And with the religion, it's like, my mom, I asked her, why do you go to church? And she said, I don't know, because we grew up that way. You get it? And that's the society we grow up in. I was going to church because my mom was going to church. She's going to church because her mom went to church. But why are you going to church? That's the question.
Yeah.
You get it? So most of the times when you ask people, they don't really have that answer. Same as, what's your purpose? I really want to ask somebody who goes to church. A lot of people, why do you go to church?
Because
ask me that question.
There's
I can answer that
There's
question.
that purpose behind it.
Why I go to church? To be grounded, to get to get perspective into purpose.
But do you
and
think,
to my purpose.
Okay, cool.
That's how I find my journey.
Do you think a person can make you find that?
I think you guys are really linking this whole thing into people, the building.
No, it's
That
fine.
religion has hierarchy.
Because when you talked about the whole school thing, trust me, I can identify with that
Yeah.
really well. Because I come from a house where my mom and my dad don't go to the same church. Dad is Jehovah's Witness, mom is a Catholic. And there's constant fight about how their teachings are, what kind of teaching is better. And I'm hardly at church too. But when I go to church, the message that is maybe preached on the day impacts me in a manner that I come out with a different perspective. I come out feeling refreshed, come out feeling
So-
new. And that's a thing that I don't maybe experience throughout, my daily activities, weeks going on, doing the same thing. You don't know what's happening, but when you come out from that, you feel,
So I think for you, it's more about the environment. It's not
it's
necessarily.
not the environment, it's what I do, whatever.
Yeah, because that's an environment. Like what you just said now. Like you say on your daily basis, you don't get that.
If it was an environment thing,
Yeah.
no, okay, no, I see what you're saying right now.
Don't you also
'Cause-
feel like people in church now they compromise the actual truth, just so it can align with how they live? Because that's things I see
They do.
every day.
They do.
The Bible says do this. We try to lower the harshness in the truth so that it goes with, oh, I still need to be in a club and do this and be with so many girls or whatever. So that's why I'm saying with religion, for me personally, I go like if I here and there I'll go to church, but not for a reason of I'm trying to be a brother. No, I go because my mind sometimes I need to be in that place where somebody tells me, oh, the Bible, you get it. But eventually I get to a point where I learn the Bible my way because it's my life and I need to connect to God because He's my friend and we need to talk. So everyone is going to tell you even about the Bible based on how they understand it, but does it actually relate to how your life is?
Because it was gonna bring my point of think about if churches were not around. Think about if religion was not around. How were you gonna determine a way of life?
It's always a
Because-
I
point.
think we'd be
that's-
living in a confused society.
Not
No.
even because that. Here's the thing. For me, that's why I say it starts from within. If you can know your purpose, if you can know yourself, if you can know why you're doing what you're doing,
But
if
not
you have
everybody is like you.
no, but that's the thing. But like you need, it's a journey that you need to go into. You need to know your truth. You can't let other people tell your truth
But
because
look here,
people that's what people do.
not everyone is like the entrepreneur or the president type of thing. But you need a president to govern a country. You need a CEO to govern an
Of course,
organization.
you see, of
type
course,
of
but
thing.
that's why we have parents.
Without those things, people would just.
But
be
that's why
doing
we
their
have
own
parents,
random-
because your parents somehow will lead you into a good life
But
if they
Can you
care
always
about
rely
you.
on parents?
no, but besides you mentioning,
No, but like, isn't it like
you mentioning parents now?
no?
Who
Here's
would
the
have
thing.
guided them?
Here's the thing. It's by other parents. Reason I'm bringing the parents in that she just said that we need a government to to push civilization, right? It's like even within a household. Think if you didn't have parents. If you were just in a household with your siblings, if you have
So
siblings,
I think from
type
her
of
perspective,
type
it's
of
like
thing.
they are like religious parents. But like if it's like pastor or whatever, they're like your parents, but on a religious level, something like that.
No. What I'm trying to say is like you don't necessarily need. Yes, maybe you can need a person from for a certain thing, what 1, 2, 3, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is a journey with self. It starts from within you. Because even if you have guidance around you,
Self-fulfillment.
if you lost, they can't do anything
Anything
about it. Because you have to know.
Which
who
I don't
you are.
disagree with. That's why I'm saying I have that spiritual aspect, but I just feel it cannot live without religion.
Religion. Oh yeah,
That's
obviously.
what you feel.
That's what
No,
I
but
feel.
that's-
Which makes sense. I'm not
True.
exactly. That's why I said like like one thing is like I didn't necessarily say spirituality can live without or vice versa. It was just like there's a difference between
There
the
is a
two.
difference.
I think there
There's
are
like
people-
religion and
Yeah,
spirituality.
to be spiritual, you still need religion, but I feel like there's also religious people who are not spiritual.
That's what I was trying to say earlier, like about
And that's
religion
your,
and people who are not spiritual, people
and that
who
when
just
they just take,
yeah,
you know,
because
all
they'll
those-
they'll tell you I'm assigned to a certain congress, I'm assigned to a certain religion, blah 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 blah, but they're not spiritual.
your scientists and stuff, where do they fall under? Just a question.
What?
Like people who believe in science.
I don't group those people.
What do they fall under?
I don't group those people. Well, most of them. I don't group them within religion or spirituality or belief in there's a higher power. They're most likely atheists. Because
I feel atheist has spirituality.
no,
Well,
but
it does.
no, they do. But what I'm trying to say is, like, for them, it's not necessarily about. It's about facts. They live it on facts. If it cannot be proven, and if I cannot see it or feel it, type of thing, then it doesn't exist. Like, for instance, a lot of scientists will tell you, "Have you seen God? Where's this God?" All these things. If God was here, will all these bad things happen? If there was a God, a lot of them question that whole is there God? Is there
You know what I like to ask scientists and stuff? Because I know people who have this atheist mentality.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you can't even create a human being.
They can.
No, they can't.
They can.
Human beings
With
are
with,
so-
with size, they can.
Can they
Isn't
make
it-
can they
isn't it
make
like
blood?
this-
Can they make up the heart?
the
Can
genetic
they,
the genetic this genetic modifying thing?
but
Like,
what did they use to modify?
I don't know.
They use cells from an existing human being, but they can never create their own.
Because you see why I'm saying they can create humans, right? But they can't necessarily create, obviously, like a full human. But they can replicate what you, like you, they can make you, right? Another
But what do
you.
they use to make me?
Huh?
What do they use
I
to
don't,
make
I don't know.
me?
You
They're
see, that's
gonna
the
use
thing.
stem cells from me somewhere.
But like, but what I'm saying is, like, even if there wasn't stem cells, they would find another way. Like, see, the same way they make robots. I'm not saying robots
But
are
most of these
But they
people-
can
most of
never
these
get
people-
flesh
Yeah,
like
most
the
of
way
these,
it
most of
is.
these people when they're about to die, they say, "Yo,
God.
God is there, man."
Yeah,
Like,
of
real.
course, of
God
course.
is there, man.
But like, what I'm saying is, like, with them, it's all about questioning. You know, you see, even this whole.
Our human mind will be the end of us. Some things don't need to be questioned.
Exactly. You see, even this whole how babies are made, right? Like, cause we in religion or in spirituality, we made by the image of God, right? With scientists, it's like science did that. There was no God.
There is not even
you
any
needed,
concrete
you needed,
evidence as to how that baby was formed.
but
in
they do
science.
though. Especially like with the whole reproduction.
I feel like when they
whatever.
get it wrong, like if they don't really get deep in the Bible,
Exactly.
It's you know there's science in the Bible, right? Like there's everything.
Science
in
is
the Bible.
is everywhere.
Yeah, but
basically.
the Bible literally has even answers for questions we don't have yet.
Oh, no, for sure.
So
I feel like the high power does.
you get it. So that's where sometimes I feel like people get it wrong. That before you critique something, you need to understand where it's coming from. You get it. The Bible has had answers for sicknesses that were not there until they came and they realized, oh shit, the Bible already spoke about this. You get it. So even with science, I get it. They're rational. They're all about facts, right? Which is a good thing. Which is really a good thing, right? But I feel like it's so wrong to. It's like you might not like something, but understand where it's coming from before you say something. You get it.
Yeah.
So when they say, "Have you ever seen a God?" Right? Sometimes religion is not about actually
Seeing.
the existence of God
It's
or
about
seeing
feeling.
that God, but it's about what it does for you. Because now when you wake up, you're like, God is going to take care of me. So it's about what it does for you. Now you're destroying the state of mind that someone created and the walls that he created to defend himself from a harsh world that we live in.
Because that's what I always tell people, don't ever link science to spirituality or religion.
I feel like
'Cause-
spirituality
'cause
allows you to just say,
it's about, you know, like, yeah, like with spirituality, like, or religion, it's all about, you know, you don't have to prove anything, you know, you could literally like live life and just feel good, you know, like with because that's what I'm saying, like you can never put those two together, because the argument will never end.
I actually feel that science has a link to spirituality.
Religion has standards.
Of course.
Religion has what you have to do. Like this is a standard of life. This is how you have to live. Spirituality doesn't. Spirituality is all about good.
But like true reality, I mean, so a true religion doesn't. I think that's what I believe. That's what I
You
believe.
know the loyal, like not just religion on
Your
our
conscience
church.
is gonna play with you, man, because you know what it's telling you.
Yeah, like
you know that
But like,
you're not
but
supposed
like,
to have
why?
sex
Yeah,
before
like,
marriage. Or,
Why I'm
you
saying
know,
that? Why I'm saying
blah.
that it's true? It's because that can never lead you to a wrong place.
What? The
What I'm saying, like true religion,
Yeah.
it can never lead you to a wrong place.
no, true
Like it will
religion, yeah.
lead you to a right place, and that's spirituality at the end of the day.
Yeah, but because of today's age, I think we have dissolved what religion is
Of course,
so
of
much
course, of course.
that someone says I'm praying, someone says, oh my God, someone puts a profile picture
I'm a
of,
prayer for you.
yeah, or puts a profile picture of God is like this,
That's
or
why I feel
says
there's no need to do that. If you
I was
have
at church on
found
Sunday.
religion, there's no need to show
Any-
what you know, what you did and all of that.
you
Or-
pray.
It's about you.
Even the Bible says
Ultimately,
what you
it's
do.
not about the spectators.
Yeah, the Bible says what you do behind closed doors will be a thing it in public. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like people are using this as a cover up for how they actually live. You check the same prayer knees that she used in the club last night. She's using that today. You get it, and then it's like putting up an image. And I feel like it's not about an image. It's not about me proving to you how good I am, what I've done, or anything like that.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
feel like spirituality, especially at this time, it's needed because it's making us survive in a time when we're supposed to be religious, but it's so dissolved that it's easy to get lost in religion and actually be a person who's headed for hell when you're thinking you're going for heaven. So spirituality actually makes you balance and say, okay, this is religion, this is how I'm supposed to live. Everyone else is living like this, but should I? No, I shouldn't. Is it gonna hurt you going east when everyone else is going west? Of course it's gonna. But
Yeah.
spirituality allows you to say, I'm gonna get hurt,
Yeah.
but it's okay to get hurt.
Even the Bible makes references of spirituality. Trying to think of something, I'm actually thinking of one Bible verse.
Yeah.
Not saying it well, guys. I don't know my verses so well, but
It's like people like
it says,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, no.
it says, if you like want something, you can't just ask God for it. You need to show that you're doing something to get to that. So that's how I link my spirituality and my religion. So, you know, God would be like the religion, but I need to find myself, or I need to put that, you know,
The same
little
as I
effort.
don't judge nobody, you know, and I'm not better than anyone, but sometimes it's like when people ask me, what's the reason we're doing church? Like, oh, that's so long. Oh,
No, you don't.
But then me looking at other people sometimes without putting judgment to it, it's like, I don't want to live the life you live.
Exactly.
Because it's so.
Look what's happening with the Pope or the Catholic, you know, with the pansexual.
I
I mean, those people
Try
are
watching the
walking,
Pope.
preaching out there saying that they're the most holiest.
Watch the Pope. That's a series. I watched that. The Pope is about the
I'm
Catholic.
sorry, guys, but
The Catholic
I need
Church.
to head out.
Yeah,
Conversation is really lit. You guys can continue
But
about.
you need to watch the Pope, bro.
Yeah.
Like the Pope is about this religion, Catholic, the Pope and whatnot. But it shows like them. I'm not saying smoking is bad, but smoking, sex, all this. It shows you what really goes on behind those big ass walls.
of course.
And it's like, so, because I allow some, this is, like she was saying, it's not everyone who's smart enough like you to realize all these things. So think about someone, if they're not smart enough to actually realize that they need to be spiritual and they need someone else to lead them, right? What then if they're being led by someone who's actually living a life they're trying to run away from?
Yeah. Because I was gonna say, it's even crazy, like even you guys went like far, like even here at school, like you see these churches and stuff, like how they
On
live.
campus.
Exactly, just here on campus, like how they live, like it's all a lie, you know. And these are people who are just, you know, hidden behind the word of God. But like when you actually look at them, even in classes, just how they treat people, or outside class, whatever, how just they talk to people.
To talk to
They
people.
act like they're better than everybody. Like they just, you know, God.
Even
and all of that.
sometimes, I don't
It's
know
just
if
like,
the Bible says it's cool for people to have sex with everybody or whatever, but these people
Yeah.
are doing everything that
even within themselves and all of that.
you get it. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
they do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
And same thing I was saying, it's an image they put up.
Mm-hmm.
They put up an image and they try to so much to live up to it, but they're not actually doing what they're saying that they're doing.
Because like you know how as much as it's so cliche, like you know like what's the word, like practice what you preach, type of thing.
And
a lot of people are missing that.
And I get it. The house of the Lord should be the house for sinners because it's a place for them to find their way, right? But it's also a place where if you find your way, you take those who are lost too, so that you can bring them to the right path. But now I feel like even if they're on the right path, they look at people who are lost as you're a lost sheep, stay there. But lost sheep is supposed to be found and taken back home.
Oh, it's more like even these guys like you know like house of sinners, but like don't live a lie.
Yeah,
don't the type of thing like don't you know.
You are lost.
Yeah.
You say that you're lost so that you can be found. That's how like you have a problem. You say it so that that problem you can find a solution to that problem. So it's like when people are there now, they try to hide their problems, their weaknesses, and
or maybe they do the things that brought problems deliberately. Type of thing. They know they're not supposed to do something,
and they do
and then they do it, and they know the outcomes and the circumstances, and then it's like if you go out there killing everybody, and then you still come back and ask for forgiveness.
Or they go to church and they're like, because it's friends and family, they cannot go to a church service on a Sunday because what would people think? Oh, they don't come to church. Or not. So it's like they have to go there to live up to like.
Exactly. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah. So
thing, right?
me, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with anybody, even if people still do those kind of things.
It's okay because it's their life.
It's because it's their life, and it's the spiritual level is a journey. It's not like I'm spiritual. I've gotten to my destination. I'm still on a journey. I still fall off sometimes.
You even leave this world on that journey. Because it never ever you can never say I've reached a point where now I'm done. You will always be a learner. You will always be a learner because it doesn't even earn. It's like the same way how people learn. You know how you never stop learning. That? You never stop learning. Like
so sometimes you fall off. No one is perfect, but I've always said this, and as much as people say no one is perfect, that's why I made those mistakes. I feel like no one is perfect, but we might as well try to aim for perfection.
Yeah, I mean, don't go out. It's like don't go out there like trying to make people's life hell, and then come back and say no one is perfect. Like that's not.
Around, you get sick and you're like. Yeah. No one is perfect.
Like it's like you do something knowing exactly that you're not supposed to do it, and then you come back.
When it backfires, you like.
And then you hide behind the word. No one is perfect.
It's the same as black people. Hide behind this religion thing. That's why I seem to have a problem with it sometimes. Not religion per se, but people who dilute what religion is supposed to be all about with the wrong things. It's like when we talk about, can I have this? Hey man, you know you're supposed to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, asking you shall be given. But when it comes to, hey, you're not supposed to sleep around, and you know the Bible probably says that, you forget that there's a Bible.
And you're just like, oh, okay, nah, it doesn't exist, or the Bible cannot hold me not to do this action right now. It doesn't have that, that power.
I remember one time I was at one of these churches, and back then, I think it was like in my gap year, and I had like a mohawk, right? And one person came to me after church. It's not even my church, by the way, but they come up to me and they're like, "No, you're not supposed to have that because in the Bible it says it's a sin actually having a mohawk, right?" So then I felt bad. But then when I went there and I was telling my other friends, they're like, "Nah, let's look for a Bible." So we looked for that verse. And actually I realized people use certain verses against you, not in full. And then I read the whole verse. And then we read the whole verse. The verse actually says it's a sin piercing your body, putting a mark on your body, or shaving the sides of your head, but in remembrance of the dead. So that means initially what I did was not wrong, because it was not in remembrance of the dead. So I feel like people take certain parts and then it's like the same as when people talk about drinking now. They're like, nah, the Bible just says you can drink, but you just don't get wasted. But you still get wasted. You get it? So it's like they look for puns.
It's like that day off, like they come back and they're like, nah, you know, the Bible says we can drink. Oh, it was a sin, I'm sorry. But like, it's like, you know, like the bad thing is an amenity.
We're trying to compromise the truth so that
it can live
according to us.
Exactly.
to what we want when we're supposed to live
If,
what
if,
we
if
want.
it's like if it suits you better, then okay, cool, it's okay. But like if the other people are doing it and you don't agree with it, it's like nah.
So think about how much the religion and the truth is diluted. If you trying to make it live to your standards, my standards, their standards, it's becomes so diluted.
That's why I was even telling Giggy right now, like, you see now that's when spirituality kicks in. That's when now you having to know your own truth, your own purpose. Because if you're gonna follow people, or if you're gonna go out there and seek people to lead you to a good path, where else they also lost. How lost are you gonna even be now?
True.
You know, because you have it starts within yourself.
It's all about self-fulfillment.
Because you have to like be in tune with who you are first, and then go. And you know when you're in tune with yourself, it's like whatever they tell you, the truth that they tell you. If it doesn't go with who you are, you will soon disregard it. Quick.
They always
You
do.
you quick to disregard.
Like, nah, if it doesn't align with what I want, then it might as well not be part of how I live. And there's something wrong in that, because I feel like we need a system, right? Religion was that system. Even if we remove God out of it, it was a way of life to make us not engage in certain things that we're not supposed to be engaged in. But with us diluting it so much that because think about it, I'm from Zim, right? You're from South Africa. Already we grew up differently, right? So we're gonna dilute it differently, right? And this is two people, and I'm talking about countries with millions. So the truth becomes so diluted that now when I tell you this is what you're supposed to do, and you're gonna disregard it obviously, because it goes differently with how you grew up. So now, and which is so wrong, because you never stop learning. So, and I feel like religion is good, just like spirituality. It only gets wrong if we try to change it to go according to how we want to live.
That's why.
And you only came now.
Yeah, because
This
that's
thing
why.
has been here for thousands, millions of years. I don't know.
That's why I always say, like, a way of life is one. There's one.
There's one.
There's one. Like, doesn't matter where you come from. You know
Elevation
what's
of your
good.
soul, man. Like,
Because we like the same happiness everybody finds. It's the same happiness everybody has. Or it's hidden somewhere because of the way of life that they live. But like such, these are things that it's all into. Like we all know what love is, or I hope. All of that, like it's one love. But you know when it's love. As much as you can be from,
but it's
the other
even
side.
in another word, dog. Like it still means one
love.
thing.
We all
Get
know
it?
what true love means, and it's like true intentions, true purpose, true everything. It's one. At the end of the day.
When you're mentioning about that, even the Bible when it talks about certain things, right? I feel like it's more about trying to make you as an individual better. And I feel like people not, when something that works for you, you see a Bible is like a guidebook, right? But with the guidebook is like advice. And advice in this, you don't necessarily have to take everything, because lives are different, so it works for us differently. So it's the same as when the Bible talks to us, right? I feel like now when someone understands it in a certain way, it's the same as, okay, David and Goliath, right? Goliath was David's obstacle. A girl in a club, she must see this guy that she wants to have sex with at the end of the night. That means that girl's Goliath. So they can use the reference in the Bible in that context of, I'm gonna beat my Goliath and be with him, right? Is that in the right way? I don't know. I'm probably gonna use that same reference for maybe school. School is my Goliath, and I want to defeat that. You get it? So it all depends with how now you use the advice in that book, in that guidebook, to work for you. And is it in the right way or the wrong way? I'll give you a gun. Probably you're gonna use it to hunt and go for that, so that we can all have meat and eat and survive. Or you're gonna shoot your friend. It all depends on how you use that thing now.
So exactly.
So I feel like that's where people get it wrong with, even with religion. They're using sometimes religion for the wrong things,
For the wrong
politics,
things. Because it's for their own good. At the end of the day, they stand to benefit.
It's like, what do I benefit from it?
Exactly.
And which is so wrong. With spirituality, I feel like once you're in spirituality, it allows you to say it's not about it's about elevation of my soul. It's not about my body. My body doesn't matter. It's about my soul connecting to Him, and me saying my mind is free from anything materialistic, negative, hate, pain. It's
Your life is pure.
you get it. So even and when you feel that way on the outside, you look that way,
You look that way.
and you attract things that align with that. You get it. So I feel like I don't care what people are doing. I don't care if people are on the wrong path or anything like that. It's about how I am bringing self-fulfillment to myself, true self-fulfillment. Not, when you fake smile. No, it's about me trying to find that true smile. Like, yo, I'm happy. And religion is a system that helps us sometimes to pave through life, because these things have been there before us. So they know how things have been working, and they've tried to make it better for future generations. It's just us and people are coming. But at the same time, we still need spirituality, because now when I know how to move through life, through this system, it's not going to be perfect. It's not everyone I meet who's on the right path as me. I remember I was watching Superfly, the movie, and he said, it doesn't matter how smart you are, right, or how better you are. If you're in a world full of dumb people, they'll kill you for stupid stuff. So it's the same as this. Just because I'm trying to be spiritual doesn't mean everyone else is trying to be. So that means I'm going to face a lot of things in this life where someone might just hate you for no reason because they're not even religious. You're gonna meet religious people, true religious people, fake religious people, people who are not even religious, people who are spiritual, people who fake spirituality. So now it's all about knowing how your true self is.
It's about you, bro. Like, it's about you. That's why, it's always about you. Like, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, who's unhappy? Who's having depression? Who's having anxiety? Who's not okay with their life? At the end of the day, yes, you might say, yo, because of this life that I'm living and everything, but like at the end, it's all said and it's all on you. It's all on you, because nobody will feel your pain.
Nobody. No.
But you.
Nobody.
And if you know your truth, nobody can define it for you.
Obviously.
Nobody. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you.
Obviously.
I realized, like, who's this? I remember we had a conversation back then, this year earlier, about black, and just how, like, how we think. By the way, when we mean black, we mean six leg. That guy.
Six leg.
And we talked about him, and we just talked about his position in the game, and what do we think with the second project, what's gonna, is the substance still gonna be there? Are people gonna still be, hyped over him? Because how Free Black, it lived. It didn't release. It was released obviously 2016, but it only lived in 2017. So it even shows like this was not planned for him. Maybe he didn't even think this was their album. So it's just like, I remember we spoke about the conversation of where do we think he stands right now in the game. What do you think, like, with the
I like
because he dropped today. So
oh, for real?
he dropped today, yeah.
Downloading that.
So I already have it. So it's like what do you expect? What do you think he's gonna do, and then how is he gonna be received?
Let me listen to the album, but from what he has released and from what he released before, like the singles that are probably in the album and what the previous album, I like how he stuck to the sound of.
But a lot of people were even critiquing him of that, like that's he's losing his sound.
But that's the thing. I feel like you see how sometimes when you get in a game with a sound and then you try to rush your sound because of how the industry is like. Like, let's just say he's on a slow R&B soul vibe, and now he has to like just so maybe make some pop or whatever just so he can leave in the survive in the industry. But it's not all about surviving. I feel like music is about standing your ground. So, and it's not everyone who's gonna stand with you. That's where you end up having loyal fans. And I feel like with him, his sound, like personally for me, it gets to me. Now I want to listen to Black and say, I feel better.
Content-wise, go with the same expectations. Sound-wise, don't go with the same expectations from the previous one. That's just an advice.
Is it slower? Is it faster?
I haven't listened to it as well because it dropped today. So, like, just go with an open mind. Because I even watched one of his recent interviews, right? He was talking about he hasn't even found a sound yet. He's only, what, 2 albums deep?
Yeah,
in the
no,
game?
no, yeah, he's
You
not.
know, like, I mean, he was like, what he did with Free Black, it was like what he did. It only came into a final product as that, so people considered that as sound. So it's like, even with this, it's like he's still gonna do what he did, but, you know, but like, he raised the valid point. He was like, if he doesn't do 30,000 sales the first week, then he's going back to the drawing board.
Okay.
I was
Makes
like,
sense.
oh, okay, so for him, it's all part of it is about sales.
Oh, obviously.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, part of him, like, he's very skeptical about sales. Like, you know, in a
It's like
sense
when
of,
Bryson drops, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna be the same thing. We wanna see how the sales are gonna be like.
now for sure. Like, I feel like anticipation is more valid than sales.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
your
yeah,
sales
yeah.
can be you know, whatever number, but like if your anticipation is there, you know, it's like having less Instagram followers, but at the end of the day, people that consume your music is maybe half of the world. But on Instagram, you only get about 1 million likes. That tells you about anticipation. You know? So for me, I feel like with him, it's all about anticipation, and I feel like he built a solid ground.
No, he did.
And I don't.
But it's still easy for him to fall off.
Of course, and
He's
he's
not
aware.
yet-
He's aware of that. He's aware of that.
He's not yet there.
But I feel like it's very solid and it's substantial, man. It's very substantial in terms of him being here, and I like how he's so in tune with himself. You know, like, and that's guidance right there. You know, like just knowing who you are and what you stand for, and why wouldn't you do a certain thing, and why would you do 1, 2, 3. I like that about him. So, my expectations for the album, I'm more interested in the content.
Obviously.
I'm more interested in
I'm
the
more, I
content.
think I'm gonna be interested in how it makes me feel.
Yeah, because he's that guy.
Yeah,
He's
before I
that-
listen to the
he's
lyrics.
he's that guy.
I wanna hear the sounds, the instruments, and then
Yeah, I mean,
get into the lyrics.
with the sound, even if it's different from the previous one, I champion him for a sound. Cause Switch, I don't know how to pronounce that, whatever that song is. Those two have great sounds. They have great sounds. So I'm more of, and I like the content of both. But like I like the non-consent, that song, whatever. Yeah, the content on that. Because he's aware of how people want him to fall off. He's aware of how people, you know, trying to jack his sound, all of that. So yeah, that's for me. That's my expectation.
When I listen to this, I'm probably gonna say something about that album next week. So
Of course,
look out for that.
we out, man. It's the 5th episode.
5th episode. I hope y'all enjoy what we're talking about. Just being on G and stuff. Peace.
Yo.